City Matters.
Welcome back here to the Fog of War and Humanity. I'm your host, Richard Acritelli. We're getting into our third episode with Donna, and we're going to be taking a look at her end of her first tour in Iraq. She will be going back over at only after a brief amount of time, almost off between her first and her second deployment. So we spoke about Iraq. We spoke about going from Kuwait to Iraq, some of the repairs that you guys were making, some of your responsibilities, living in Baghdad, kind of being the first boots on the ground during the second, Gulf War, the war on terror. So now you go to Garma. Now, where was that located?
It was up north in Iraq too. I know we had to pull a lot of
Which major cities is that? Is that near Tikrit or Mosul? Or?
I forgot which one. And it was further up north.
It was further up north.
There was a lot of activity going on, like rocket grenades, RPGs, IEDs, shooting and stuff.
Was the IEDs a big problem for you in terms of the maintenance of the vehicles?
I would say so, somewhat. I mean, it started where they were getting sophisticated with IEDs, and then after a time, that's what they were majorly using. Like I know, like soldiers, we used to see people beg for food, like water and stuff, and soda and MREs, whatever. So we would see nice and give it to them. And then after a time, like the insurgents would use that to harm us. So we were told not to give out any more stuff like that.
Watch your contact,
yeah.
Right? So now the IEDs itself, as powerful as they were your first time there, you come back a short time later, less than a year later,
right.
They must have been
more
able to grow,
yeah.
right? More sophisticated.
Yeah.
Itself.
Because during the first deployment, one of the soldiers in my unit, they were on a convoy, and the insurgent had like a remote, and he got hit with it, and he died instantly in the truck, the 915 truck.
Unbelievable, right? So,
I mean, we had a what do you call it? The
flak vest.
Flak vest. We had a Kevlar and a flak vest, but at that time, it was a regular flak vest. The second deployment, they had like the 90 pounds.
They started adapting a little bit more.
Like,
how long did it take you go from Baghdad to Garma there?
I'm not sure. It was long. It was a while. I don't remember the amount of time.
So you really headed up north.
Yeah.
So now, what were the changes in? Were there any changes in the climate, the geography?
I would say the geography and the climate, because like Baghdad's like more of a city.
Sure.
And then when you're going up Garma, we were at, it was more country. Wherever we were at.
Did the people change?
A little bit. We had some people come up to us while we were driving, but we had to keep our distance. We were told some of them, when they saw us, they wanted to exchange stuff as far as like your military hat.
Almost bartering.
Yeah. To give like Iraqi money or a CD, whatever you had.
What did they want from you?
One of them wanted my hat. I told them I couldn't give me my hat, my military hat.
I'm sure you had sunglasses too,
sunglasses,
right?
Yeah. I said no. But I exchanged other stuff like food and water for like Saddam Hussein money.
The currency itself, right?
I kept that as a souvenir.
Now, you're there for a while.
Yeah.
What do your parents, family members, friends send to you?
Okay.
What do you ask for, especially from Long Island, New York, to go to, was it North Central Iraq?
Yeah. Well, actually, it was the company, the supply sergeant. We had like 10 camp showers, and it took a while to share among over 150 soldiers. So I had to use we had like DSN, the field phone, and I had called my mom using the DSN number, and I had told her if she could send me a camp shower, which she did. She sent it to me, but it took a while to get there, but I got it. It was the one with the batteries and stuff, and I was happy. I had my own. I had like the 5-ton jug where I could fill it up. And stuff.
Sure. Yeah. What else? Was there any types of food that you wanted?
Primarily it was more like MREs, but then after they had like the the dining facility. The cooks had their own military facility where they cooked for us. The foods and stuff. It was a little bit. It wasn't like MREs. It was regular food, but it was better than MREs, I think. And after a while, the months after the war, they had like Kellogg Brown and Root. The government contracted to build the dining facility, and that's where you had like some of the internationals come and.
Now, this is a dumb question, right? Yeah. You like your Trinidadian food, right? The jerk chicken, everything that you mentioned before. Was any of that able to be sent over to you? Because no, right? Was that something that you kind of said, when I go home, I'm going to have some of this?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I mean, after when they had the dining facility, was the government contractors. They fed us well, but that took a while
to get established.
Yeah.
You see that more in your second tour than your first,
right?
Yeah,
second tour more.
First,
the first deployment was like toward the end, but then the second deployment, they had it, set up.
So you really laid down the foundation for future soldiers, because it was a long time that Operation Iraq was going, and you were one of the very first people that were there.
Actually, during the first deployment, which was different, I believe we brought back some trucks, but then after, I think we left some in Iraq.
Over there, right?
Over there.
So now, when you're up in Garma, was there any infrastructure at all up there? Did you guys send up a command post?
For the first deployment or second deployment?
First deployment. Well,
after they had set up a command post, like we had got cross level with some of the reservists and National Guard units, which was interesting to learn, because I met a few of them I met in the past because I was prior reservist, so I knew like maybe 2 or 3 of them. It was nice to see them. So.
Did you have any officers, especially on the mechanic side? They were senior officers. Now they got active duty, they got reserve, they got guard. You're like the United Nations of American military forces there, right?
Right.
You have all these different groups. Did they kind of say to you, this is the way we're handling this here? To make sure that everybody was unified in terms of they were on the same page.
Right. Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
Because you get somebody from Oklahoma in a National Guard unit who's going to do something different from your active duty in Georgia compared to maybe a National Guardsman here on Long Island, right? You have a lot of similarities, but you also have a lot of differences.
Yeah, I would say that they have different, but they had to come to agreement to get the job done.
Of like how to handle it.
Yeah, the platoon sergeant or sergeant major or colonel.
And that's a tough thing, because you have all these different groups of people coming together. What would you say about, like I asked you about Baghdad, right? What you remembered. What about Garma? What did you remember there?
I remember about Garma that we used to get, during the day, I remember it was, I think maybe 2 or 3 times we had gotten hit during the day. It was like, we saw like a smoke. It was orange, and we had to put it on mop gear. It was scary, because we had to wait until we got cleared to take it off. You didn't know if that was tear gas or what.
Did you ever find out?
Well, they cleared it after, but it took a while. But I think it was just some type of it wasn't tear. I don't think it wasn't tear gas. It was just like some type of coloring.
Sure. All right. So now you're there. Do you go anywhere else besides in your first deployment? Anywhere else besides Garma? Do you venture anywhere?
Well, actually, it was getting a little bit dangerous over there. So we were told that we have to move to go back down. So we did the last 2 months or 3 months in Kuwait Air Base, Talil Air Base.
Okay.
In Kuwait.
Were you glad to go back to Kuwait?
Yeah, we were glad, because you still had to be alert, because like if they had like any incoming stuff, I think they used to have sirens.
Sure.
Set up, but we were more like in a safer territory where you didn't have to have your flak vest on.
Sure.
And
the stress level was down a little bit.
Gas mask,
Sure. The stress level was down a little bit, right? So now you're in Kuwait. You're doing vehicle maintenance. You're seeing soldiers come in, right? And they're heading up towards Iraq, right? What was the type of advice that you would give them?
To be careful, watch your guard, and keep your eyes peeled, and try to use the buddy system best you can, because Sometimes even people in the unit, you still may not get along with them, but you have to try to work together.
To coexist, right?
Yeah.
Because it could be your life or somebody else's
That's right,
life,
yeah.
right? Sure. All right, so now you're in Kuwait. What was the feeling that you had when they said, "All right, you're going home. You're going back to the States"?
I felt good, relieved, to go back. That we did our mission and stuff, and at that time in my unit we had lost 2 soldiers in the unit, one from IED and the other one from a vehicle accident. So we had any soldier who gets killed in Iraq, they always have a memorial service for them in Iraq. And then they have it at the base active duty, and then they have it if their family wants to do it outside in the community to do it as well.
Now let me ask you this: you're in a southern unit, you're in Georgia. You go throughout Iraq, right? Literally from the southern part of the country all the way up towards the north. Did you feel like you had a little bit more of an axe to grind because you remembered 9/11, that 9/11 hit near your home, and
I would say so, yeah.
Right? And
a lot of people from 9/11 probably joined the military after that.
As a result.
But I was prior service in the reserve. But I wanted at a time to experience how active duty life was like.
Sure.
At least do one tour, active duty.
And then did you often think about 9/11 when you were in Iraq?
Yeah, I would think of it.
Right? That was a big reason why you were there.
Yeah.
All right, so now you come home. Where do you go?
Well, I came back to Garrison.
Where's that, in Georgia?
In Georgia, so in Georgia. And then we had the in-process back in Georgia, different stuff. And then went back to our MOS at Motor Pool.
Did your family go down to Georgia to see you, or did you go home?
I went home. Yeah, I went home.
How long? You go home. You go back to Georgia. You get everything squared away.
Yeah.
When do you come back here to Long Island?
I came back to Long Island like we came back in December of 2003, so I came back home like soon after, maybe like 2 weeks or for the New Year, or I think I came back either for the New Year for like maybe 2 weeks or so.
Now that's 2004, right?
Right.
Yeah. So what was first things that you do when you come home?
When I came home, I was happy that I hit American soil. Take a warm bath, eat food. I actually had made it my obligation to meet my my squad leader's wife, my squad who got killed in Iraq, to see how she was doing. I wanted to see how she was doing and her 2 kids, because I know it's hard to lose a loved one, especially in combat. So I went to go visit her. I had a correspondence with her through writing letters when I was in Iraq, but I wanted to see her when I came back.
Did that get emotional when you saw her?
No, I mean, not really. I don't think so. I mean, kind of, I would say so. Because when I saw her, she said that she felt like her husband was still in Iraq.
Do you remember where he was buried?
In Valdosta, Georgia, because he's from Georgia.
Okay. Yeah. Is there anything you ever do to try to remember him, or
I don't have it with me now because I have like a keepsake bracelet, killed in action bracelet.
Okay.
Of him and the other soldier in my unit. I keep it as a keepsake. Their bracelets on me at all times.
And it helps you remember your own service
Yeah.
and being close to them, right?
Right.
All right, so now you come back here to Long Island. Your father passed away in 98. Your mom
Still
is in the house, right? What does she do for you? Right? Now her baby comes home, combat veteran, right? What do they kind of do for you to...
Well, she was supportive and stuff. I know when the war, she said she always looked at the news every day. And she was worried and she prayed and stuff. But I know when I came back home, she was happy. She welcomed me. She wanted to see that I was well taken care of. And if any issues, let her know. She told me.
Did she make any of that good food?
Yeah, Western food, of course, yeah.
What did she make you a big plate of?
Curry chicken roti, the dal, curry mango.
Nice. Is it better fresh?
It's fresh, yeah, I like it. Yeah, fresh.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. And do you have any of your friends from Brentwood?
Not like
Well, you're a little bit older now too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So people are kind of
on their own way.
off doing their thing.
Not really, not much people from Brentwood. More people that I met over the years.
Sure.
Current friends.
Neighbors.
Neighbors, yeah, or mentors of mine.
Did you just try to relax too? That you were just home?
Yeah, I was trying to relax. I was happy at home, but the only thing, like, when I came back, it was kind of thing like that was triggering was the fireworks, and also like driving, because we were told like if we drive not to go on over a water bottle or a bag or a soda because it could be an IED or something.
Sure.
And like also like if we were in convoys and it was a red light, we were told never to stop. We'd go straight through it. So that was hard to get
used to.
when coming back.
Because here on Long Island, people like to throw their water bottles out the car and, cans and this and that, and then fireworks.
Right.
So indirectly, you kind of remembered thousands of miles away, right? All right. So now, how long were you home for?
About 2 weeks. And then I went back and stuff. And I went back to Garrison. We were doing our things. And, we had to wait on. So we had a little bit of downtime. We had to wait for new vehicles to work on, which we did. And then we just worked on the vehicles when we got them.
Did you guys have shortages of stuff because everything was sent
We had some
to Iraq
shortages.
or Afghanistan?
Yeah, we had some shortages, and we had to wait for some supplies to get to us.
And there's not much that command could do because they're getting everything from the top down.
Right.
Now, you're back in Georgia. You have a quick turnaround time from your first deployment now to your second deployment. Were you nervous? Obviously, that's a dumb question. You're obviously nervous. But was it a little bit different for you compared to somebody who was new into the unit that was going over?
A little bit. I mean, I went to Iraq already, so I knew a little bit what to expect. But
did they bring you into like meetings and say, we have new officers here, we have young officers, we have young NCOs, they haven't been overseas yet. Did they try to pick your brain a little bit?
A little bit. I know when we went back the same time, there was some new soldiers that came into the unit, so they had their first experience being deployed as well. Coming like they get PCS from another unit, coming to the unit, to our unit, or some of them just came from just on active duty first time, so that was a big transition for them as well. So doing that was something.
Did you look at your responsibilities differently now?
Somewhat, because I know the first deployment, every person who gets deployed, they have to get cleared by medical clearance, whatever the condition is, and then they clear you to go for deployment. And there were some people during the first deployment who didn't get cleared for deployment, and they stayed back in the rear detachment. But what was different was the second deployment. You either had to be cleared for deployment, or if not, get medical chaptered out for active duty. I can't speak for the other reservists or National Guard, but I got cleared to go. I had go through each process. And I guess they didn't. I don't know. I guess they didn't want people staying back in rear D. That either you deployed with the unit or not, or to get out. So.
Now, what rank were you at this time?
I was just an E4.
When do you do PLDC? Did they promote you?
Pre-PLDC, I did that, but when I go on active duty, they take their rank away from you. You go back down from. If you're going to go to active duty.
So they took
but it was conditional. I didn't go to PLDC because at 9/11, they had canceled pre-PLDC for the year.
Oh, so you didn't go through it.
Right, the whole thing. I was supposed to go that week and September 11th.
Did you ever ask them if you can go back to PLDC to get that rank?
Well, that was the reserve side of the house.
Yeah, but for active duty?
No, because there was some issues as far as advancements, as far as next promotion and stuff like that. So I wasn't a good fit for it at the time,
All right. So now, 2004, you go back over. When do you go back over in 2004?
We went back October 2004 to October 2005, a whole year.
So you had, 9 or 10 months in between?
Yeah.
And then You go back to Kuwait?
We went to Iraq.
You went right into
And
Iraq.
up north, it was Al Assad, Iraq.
So where do you fly into?
Well, we left Hunter Army Airfield. We flew into, I believe it was Ireland, and then we switched
Shannon, Ireland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from there, we went into Iraq. We didn't drive this time. We flew into a certain part in Iraq, and then after that, we had our vehicles. We had to ship our vehicles, and then after that, we had to go to like a place to pick them up, and then we drove a certain section into Iraq.
Sure.
It wasn't as long as going directly from the first time from Kuwait into Iraq, the first tour.
When you went into Iraq, where did you fly into? Baghdad?
I believe it was Baghdad, yeah.
Did you
Yeah, it was
notice?
Baghdad, yeah.
Did you notice a lot of changes that were there?
Well, things were, at that time, it was open and running and stuff. And
A little more organized,
more organized.
which is pretty amazing because you were there less than a year
Right.
before that. So how quick things move, right? Were you a little bit more confident going in?
A little bit, but still nervous because you don't know what to expect.
Sure. All right, so now you flying to Baghdad. Where do they send you?
We were told we were going to Al Assad, Iraq, and that was a base that was primarily run at that time mostly by the Marine Corps. And we were told that is a hot spot where a lot of activity goes on. So we were nervous. And we used to get hit all the time throughout the day and night.
Where was that in relation to Baghdad?
Al Assad, Iraq. What do you mean?
No. You flying to Baghdad. So where is Al-Assad? Where is that?
Al Assad, I heard, is further up north.
So that's up north. Was
Yeah.
that further than where you were originally?
I would say so. I think so.
Wow. So was that near Mosul? Did you ever go to Tikrit or Mosul or any of those places up there?
I think it's nearby there, in those areas, in that vicinity.
Was there a Kurdish influence you remember up there at all? Or
I know they had a mosque around there.
yeah. Okay. And it was very active, huh?
Very
It was
active, yeah.
very busy.
Busy.
And how long were you there for?
We were there for like a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're there from 2004 into 2005 then.
Yeah.
What were your responsibilities?
Well, we had to work on the vehicles, do PMCS. We went on. I didn't go on much convoys, but I went on a few. I remember one time we had to pull a guard. We were out on. We had to stop with the vehicles, and we had to do like security. And I was kind of scared being out there. I saw people from a distance, and they were like, doing their own regular daily routine. And I remember one of them, I saw them slaughter like an animal. And people passing with the Toyota cars, and you don't know if they're like suicide bombers or what. So I was watching my guard at all times.
Now, were the people more of a concern in the first deployment or the second deployment? Or they were concerned for both?
Concerned for both, I would say. But I have to say, the ones that came up to us, and I was impressed, they speak English. I was told that it's mandatory that they learn English, for the most part.
How did you find their English?
It was pretty decent. I mean, they spoke, maybe basic English. Some may not know English that well, but I was told that they're supposed to learn English there. That's what I was told.
Now, did the rules of engagement change that much?
I would say a little bit. I would say a little bit more. It changed.
Did Americans get more aggressive or take a little bit of a step back?
I would say more aggressive and had to do things. They had to make modifications as far as with the vehicles, putting up armor vehicles, and then we had like
Were you there when they caught Saddam?
No, after.
After. Yeah. And they built a military base around that hole, I think it was, right?
Because it was fought after 3rd Infantry, thing. What do you call the word? They did cross the berm. They fought the war after that. And then we were under a lot of stress during Bush administration. And I remember military people were wondering when we're getting out of there. Because we thought it might be in and out like something similar to Desert Storm, not as long. And it was longer than what we expected. And after we left, it was 4th Infantry Division from Texas that relieved us. And they're the ones who captured Saddam Hussein.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you had these young guys. I don't know if they were, what special forces unit they were that ended up catching them. Yeah. And Saddam came out of the hole and said, "Now I'm waiting. Now I'm ready to negotiate."
I know when we were there during the first deployment, the first deployment, they had captured both his sons.
Yeah.
And they killed them.
They had the playing cards, right?
Yeah,
with the top
I have the
Iraqi.
55 most wanted. I got that there in Iraq. That was nice.
Is that cards there? The
playing cards, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. His regime, yeah, that's how his regime got thinged.
Yeah, they caught one of them in a house, right? And it was like a firefight in the house.
I think something like that.
Right? The sons were brutal, too.
Yeah.
Now, in that part of Iraq, what was the geography like? What was the weather, the conditions?
Well, when we went in October, it was kind of cool. And then when it got to like December, January, it was cold, like in New York. And then we saw actually snow flurries. And it was cold, but we
Did
had
you welcome
heaters.
the cold weather? Huh? Would you rather had the cold or the heat?
The heat was unbearable, like over 130 degrees.
Crazy, right?
I think
Is that worse than the humidity here on Long Island?
I would say so.
Yeah.
But like with the tents and stuff, everything was built through Kellogg Brown and Root, the government contracts. They built the tents, and they had heaters and the ACs, and the floor was wooden and stuff. Everything was set. Not like what we had to build everything from scratch. The tents, the burnout latrines and all that, and the sinks. We had to do all those plywood. But when we went there the second time, everything was fixed, which was better for us.
Okay. Now, when do you leave there?
We left in December. We left in October, an exact year of 2005.
Of 2005.
Went there in October 2004, and we left in October 2005.
So now you're almost heading towards 2006 now.
Yeah.
So
I finished out actually during the second deployment, they did like a stop loss, and they added like 3 more months onto my contract. So my contract of active duty was 36 months, which is 3 years, but then they added 3 months more, so it was 39 months.
So 3 months more that you had to serve overseas,
or
when you came home?
When I came home.
And what were all right, so you come home, right? Mm-hmm. Where do you fly out of in Iraq?
We flew out of Iraq. I think it was from the airport, I believe. The airport. And then from there, we went to Germany. A stop. And after that, during that second deployment.
Was it Ramstein?
I think it's Ramstein, but they were nice enough. They provided like, as a treat, they provided alcohol for the soldiers. I don't drink, but they all.
Not a bad treat, right?
Yeah.
In terms of being in the field and people are firing at you. You're trying to do your job, right? And you're wondering who's walking by you and everything else, right? So now you go to Germany, then you go back to Georgia.
Right.
And what do you do down there?
In process like the whole, you see this person, that person in process in. And then.
Did your equipment stay over there or did it come back?
It came back because we had a lot of fixing to do when it came back.
Wow.
Yeah, this time we had to bring our equipment back. Last time we didn't, like, the first time we left, like, the motor pool, everything, like, the computers, everything was set up. We left everything like that for the next unit to come.
I tell you.
And the second one, but with the vehicles, we had to bring everything back.
I tell you, people don't understand the moving parts, right?
Yeah.
Right? They just don't understand that.
Because I know before with the vehicles, I know you have to clean it and take it to a wash thing to get.
Was that the bird bath? Right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And before it sends back.
Did you have a large motor pool in Georgia?
Yeah, it was pretty big. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, during the second deployment, when we came back to Garrison, they had like government contractors helping us out with some of the vehicles as well, which was good.
All right, so we're gonna come back here for a 4th episode with Donna to talk about her kind of like her final moments in uniform. She goes back to school again, and then the things that she's doing today to remember the veterans of the armed forces, different groups that she's in. And please rejoin us here on the Fog of War and Humanity on hmTv.